You got it? You got it? Okay. So this relates to 7.4, 13 through 16, and also to life. So relating to life, the question is, what's the difference?
What's the difference?
What's the difference?
Suddenly the book stutters.
No, it's me. It's not them. So what's the difference between a maximum and a maximum value and a max at? Right, so these are all little phrases that the books use. Right, so like a max is a phrase that sometimes gets used, a max value is a phrase that sometimes gets used, and a max at is sometimes a phrase that gets used. Those all mean slightly different things. Guesses?
Yes.
Yeah?
So maybe a max is more in the like similar to like limits, since you just kind of approach it and don't reach it. Okay. Well, what about a max value is like something that actually like a value that would work, and it's just the greatest
Theoretical.
value that would work for the function.
So I would say a max value, you're really close. This is the greatest value that the function achieves.
Right.
This is a range thing,
Oh, where a max is a domain.
right? That's a range element, like a y, right? So think y for that.
Its outputs not have a max value.
A maximum at is a thing about a,
Domain?
yeah, that's a thing about a domain value. Domains are X things, right? And a max just by itself, badass, is a point, right? Like a point on the graph. So that's a
X and
X,
F of X.
comma, f of x, right? Which is really
an input output pair.
an input-output pair. That's your max at value is the first thing, right? Your max at is the first coordinate, and your max value is the second coordinate.
So your max at makes a max value of a max.
Exactly. You guys cool with that? So I'm going to point it, when I say there's a max here, I'm pointing at a picture usually, saying this is the maximum, right? Which is a point on the graph. It has a domain element and a range element. If I say the max is at 4, that's an x value. And if I ask what's the maximum value, right, then I'm looking for what's the output. You guys with that?
Yeah.
Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
It makes sense why I would be interested in different things sometimes.
Seriously.
Are you saying
No.
you would ask this question on a test?
Okay, so if I had something like this, right? Like,
The ball.
sure, yeah, if we tossed a ball in the air, right?
Wait.
Can I get a partner up here?
Oh, go ahead.
Too late, Levi's on it.
Yeah.
So, if I toss this, right? If I'm asking for the maximum, right? That's a point in the air, right? That's like here. You guys see that?
Yeah.
What's the maximum value?
No.
The height from
It's the idea of that height, right? What's the max at for that?
That point.
halfway
No, the
between.
point.
Yeah, that's at a distance between us, right? You guys see that?
Max is at
Or if I was thinking about this in terms of time, right? If I thought about this instead of distance between us as the time it takes to fly between us, right?
like 2 seconds.
Yeah, like, yeah, 1 second or 2 seconds here, right? Then the maximum at is a question about what time is it highest, and the max value is a question about how high did it get. You guys see that? So if I had a profit function, right? If I was talking about profit, the maximum would be here, right? And it would be maybe a number of things I make and a dollars. right? Some of the time I'm going to ask questions like, how much money can I make? And other times I'm going to be asking questions like, how many things do I make to make the most money?
It's a different
You guys see
question.
that?
Yeah.
It's a different
Those are
question.
kind of questions about different places. They're both related to this maximum. Right? One's asking what's the domain thing that goes with the max, and the other one's asking what's the range thing that goes with the max.
So can you give us an example of an equation that has a different max and max value?
Different max.
Or is the max value always
Oh, yeah,
included in
sorry.
the max?
The max value is always going to be the y coordinate of the max.
And the max at is always going to be.
And the max at is going to always be the x coordinate. Now this gets a little weird when you have a function that doesn't go straight up and straight down, right? Like if I had a function that went up and then goes like this and then goes down.
Then you would have two.
You guys see that?
Yeah, now you're
Like pointing at the max is hard,
Mhm.
but pointing at the maximum value is easy.
Right, because it's just a line.
You guys see that?
Yeah.
Like I would say all of this stuff is a max, basically. And the maximum value is the y that goes with it. And the at is hard.
Would you say it's an interval between?
Yeah, because I would say that maximum is achieved at any point in this interval.
Right, that's understandable.
You guys cool with that?
Yeah, so where's the max value?
So in this, what's the max at?
So the max would be at everything in between, oops, from here to here.
And not at the very right side of it?
Yeah, not necessarily at the very right side. Because you might be interested in, if this is my maximum amount of money, right? Like the y is money here, and the x is maybe units. Well, it doesn't matter whether I make this many units or that many units, I'm still making the most money possible in between those two things. That would be like your profits are capped for some reason. Or like your speed on your car is governed, right? Like no matter how much gas you give it, it's never going to go faster than a certain speed. That would be something like this.
So
Guys, cool?
max at is the x coordinate that gives you the highest y coordinate?
Yeah.
Okay.